create the condition of the gravitational field of the planet, which is providing more field forces for the carbon balance to be in operation, that the nitrogen itself becomes irrelevant. Now, every element of the carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen is there to feed, so the plant grows faster.
So now we just need to go a little bit further into the environment around us. And this is a lovely quote from a book that I'd read recently, Country is Lonely, with the source Dawn Bezarab. And spirituality to Aboriginal people is connected to country and is about relationships, spiritual relationships with the trees, the land, the animals, the sky, the water. Country is not viewed as a bit of dirt with economic value, but as a living entity. And when we look at the soil below our feet, a spoonful of healthy soil contains more living organisms than all the people on Earth. So there's another whole world that we're not aware of, or are aware of, but not consciously. And so within this other world, we have the bacteria and the insects and the fungi and nematodes, and we can go on and on. There's a huge world below our feet and around us. But we have to understand as well that all of these are also living entities, and they are also a plasma with fields, and they're also interacting with each other. And all these living entities have a soul too. So let's have a closer look at our connection now with nature. So when you go out and in nature, in a nice forest area or your garden, and you look around and you see plants, and you'll see a bit of water and soil and the insects and that. But what I see here is nature with hundreds of different souls or reactors, all interacting with each other and the environment. So it's a totally different way of looking at the world around us. You know, so each plant and creature is interacting with the fields from the sun and the earth, and those different creatures and the plants are interacting with each other as well. Sorry, I'm just waiting for the slides to come through. All right, so when we look at a picture, nature tells us a story. We can either see it for what it is, as a stream with some trees and rocks, or we can look at it as nature telling us a story, in that the creek itself is a living entity and playing with the rocks, which are alive. We have different plants all playing together with the trees and the rocks and the water. There is a dance of balance and harmony amongst all the other souls of nature that we're really not aware of. We can come, but we need to ask the rock if we can sit on him, watch and observe how these souls are all interacting together to create this wonderful place. Receive what you need and give back to those others that we have forgotten around that exist. We are very slow.
No problem. We're patient.
All right. Okay, I have another quote here. And it gives you an idea of the original people here in Australia, how connected they were to the land. The tree, he watching you, you look at tree, he listens to you. He got no finger, he can't speak, but that leaf, he pumping, growing in the night while you are sleeping. You dream something, trees and grass, same thing. You grow with your body, with your feeling. If you feel sore, headache or sore body, that means somebody's killing tree or grass. You feel because your body in that tree or earth. Nobody can tell you. You've got to feel it yourself. So when you look at this picture of acres and acres of sort of a crop, how do you feel when you walk through this field with miles and miles of the same crop or grass or trees? And then when you look at this lovely spot in nature, now how do you feel when you walk around in a field of or your garden surrounded by hundreds of different plants and trees? You know, why do we feel so rejuvenated from walking in nature? And why do people living in the city want to escape to the countryside for the weekend? And when they do come to the countryside, feel so rejuvenated from the weekend when they go back to the city. Because as Dr. Rodrigo explained, through our senses, we receive a lot of emotion. And so we get that energy from, in those fields, from nature. So when we look around and we see this tiny little forest with all these different trees, we are interacting with all those different creatures and all their energies, with the water, with the rocks, the insects in the ground, the trees, the different plants. We're all interacting with those fields. And those are the fields which are feeding us emotionally. And it's that amino acid connection that we have. So one is constantly interacting. When you're walking through a forest, you're interacting with hundreds of different fields from the different plants. All these fields are feeding you, and you are feeding your energy to these different creatures. And it's very, very different to when I showed that picture earlier, walking through a field of just one crop, because you're only interacting with the one type of field. Whereas in a forest type setting or beautiful garden, you're interacting with hundreds of different fields. And this is what gives you that additional energy, that emotional aspect of feeling so good in nature. It's because you're interacting with the fields all around you. So when we call for peace on earth, you know, us as human beings again are thinking arrogantly about calling for peace, thinking we're the only ones that matter. What if we called on the billions of insects, the birds, the animals, the trees, the grasses, the fungi, the river, the oceans? They all have a soul, which collectively with us humans make up the soul of the earth. So we need to reconnect with earth and all its creatures. So can you imagine if all of us work together in cooperation to bring about peace on this planet?